Well, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Persona. I'm the best wrestler in the world. I'm joined here by Colin Barker, the one and only. And before we get on with this lovely show, we're also joined by Birdie, I forgot to mention. Before we get on with this lovely show, the board are requesting that I read out the rules and regulations that we must follow for me to host my own show. So let's just quickly rattle these things off.
More worried. I'm more worried, Persona.
What's that?
I'm more worried. They think I'm going to be as bad as you.
Exactly.
I know we're both naughty boys. I know that. We're both naughty lads who love a bit of mischief and a bit of skullduggery and chicanery. But I can't believe they give us a blooming list that we can't do this and can't do that. Right, so we've got to dress appropriately. Right, I've got a tie on as well, so that's cool. Right, okay.
We must dress appropriately to represent the IWF as a IWF commentator and a former IWF champion. Well, we've got that down. We've got the ties on. We're ready to rock and roll. Must not vape. We must not vape.
I don't vape.
Either do I.
I never saw that.
We must not drink alcohol.
No alcohol around me.
I've got no alcohol, but he might be a bit gone. But who knows? And we must not swear.
Well, there's two chances of that. I think, if we get into some deep and meaningful arguments, I'm sure we might have a difference of opinion, but we'll certainly have an expression of our views and interests, won't we, Persona?
Well, I believe so. We must not disrespect the IWF brand.
Why not? We wouldn't do that. We work for them, so we'd only be polite. If we think there's something wrong, he'll say it and I'll say it. That's what commentators can do. There's no one on my contract says you can't say this. I speak my mind, and I know you speak your mind as well.
That's the best way to do it, and we must not disrespect people on the IWF roster.
Hey, I've got my favourites, and the people I think are pillocks. So, well, it's shades of grey, that isn't it? Very much shades of grey. Well, I always think that Alfie Jackson's a pillock, but he's your mate, and that's fair enough.
We'll get it.
Fair enough.
Speak of the devil.
He just said evening. Yeah. Oh, Alan Shaw's just said evening genius and ... Persona. Look, Alan. You've got a big week next weekend when you get in that ring. Dago, genius, why on earth are you on here with this muppet? Thought you had better No, Dago.
Oh, I forgot my glasses.
Disrespect. That's disrespect. That's it. That's increased your IQ there, Persona.
We are
right. Yeah.
And so this is the bit of paper that got emailed to me with all the rules on. We don't follow the rules on this show. I'm going to get out of this horrible attire. If the poster can be put up. There we go. He's stripping. Yeah, we go. This is what everyone pays to see. If we can get the poster up for the show, Colin, if you can hear us, I don't know, you haven't got your headset on. Colin, you run down the show while you run down the poster while I take this horrible attire off.
Right, you get your attire off. Right, this is King's Rebellion. This is the 7th show from IWF. It's next Saturday, the 17th of January. There's a bit of a change in the venue due to the boiler. Cheers, going a little TU. So we're now at the Grindon Broadway Social Club. SR49RX is the postcode. 10 for adults, 5 for kids. Look forward to seeing you all there. Tickets available via Facebook and also on the door. So, look, as I always say, I'd love to do a show that's called, what's going to happen next? The card's subject to change. And when the venue says sorry, the boiler's broke down, the last thing we want is everyone sat there freezing the Jimmy Jewels up, don't we? And, that looks a lot better there, Persona. Has Bertie got a smile on his face yet or not?
And now that I'm in correct attire, I can correctly do the introduction for this show. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the best show that the IWF has ever produced. Welcome to the Genius and the Goat, accompanied by Bertie, who is really sick of his life. So I am going to put him in front of the camera and then release him. Come here, Bert.
Yeah. I release the hounds. Yeah. Oh, dear. Oh, Bertie's got to see his own. Oh, yeah. He's always got one face as Bertie, and it's always, like an angry face. And I'd love to see Leather and Bertie having a staring competition. That'd be great. Hybrid, evening Colin, evening Hybrid. This is nothing like Sentiment and Detriment. You've got 2 A stars here. You're not an ex-tag team champion. Not disrespecting you. That is a fact. Absolutely.
It's the one thing that's going to be very common on this show is that we are going to speak facts to the audience.
Yeah.
We don't lie. We don't pitter-patter around things. We tell facts.
Yeah. And I'll tell you what I think. And I'm sure Persona will quite give his opinion. And a lot of you don't realise that me and Persona, we're good mates. And, me and Persona, we've been on a long journey in wrestling, and we've known each other for years. So never think, if he's got a face on or if he's kicking the crap out of anyone, he's in that ring because he is the GOAT. That's what he is.
Like, we had a guy in the orange top on TikTok. I don't know what that is. Thanks, Dagon, for that contribution to this show. That you'll probably just get shocked you're getting views on a live, Colin. Well, it's more views than that the Sentiment Detriment gets. So
that's it. Yeah,
anyway, 17th of January, we have the King's Rebellion. Everybody is there to see myself. Everybody else is just there to fill the numbers. It's like a football team. I'm the star player. The team is built around me. And that's what the IWF is.
Well, you were the first ever champion, and you should have still been the champion. But DJP, what did he do? He tried for months to try and get you to lose. And, every time you knocked through there, and then there was that shenanigans with that Gauntlet and Walker.
Yep.
Yeah.
Speaking of the devil, there he is. DJB, you are the worst general manager that has ever been in a wrestling promotion. I still do not understand how you are hired. I do not understand how you were hired in the first place. But fair play to you.
Have you seen that Taylor comment? He doesn't say who's sweet and who's sour. And I know that old Tetley T, when he sits next to me, his potty mouth, very potty mouth. And,
That's what you're saying, so that is your Dan Bollard. The bees, the buzzy bees. Dan Bollard didn't look very good when Brentford was smashing goals past him, the little waste of skin. Anyway.
Can I just interfere at this point? Are Newcastle not above Sunderland now?
They are now.
In the Premier, yeah. I thought they were. Just it's a fact. It's an absolute fact, isn't it, Persona?
Yep. The Sunderland fans are very quiet lately, which is crazy. Yeah. And before anyone misinterprets, I do not support Newcastle or Sunderland. I think they are both disgusting, vile places. And I think all of their fans are disgusting and vile. But anyway, enough about football. We are professional wrestling.
Yes, correct? We do. Absolutely. Right. Should we get on to the card?
You said that Taylor's got a very potty mouth. Now, if you would like to hear that potty mouth, go on Patreon, find the IWF, pay for the shows. You get to watch the full edited shows with commentary and all that jazz, and you can hear Taylor's potty mouth. I can't remember how much it is. I don't pay for it. I don't need to pay for it. I get it for free. Anyway.
I just know that when he counted up the potty words from Taylor, you need more than one hand to tell you that.
True that. What is our first match of the King's Rebellion?
Oh, massive triple threat Persona. Alan Shaw, King of the Skies, Sporty the Lilac Demon, and Danny Kaye. And now DJB set this up, and it was initially Spawn and Danny Kaye because Danny Kaye, I think he beat Jakob in this to get this opportunity.
Yes.
And then Alan seemed to sidle in there and get in there. Now, I know Alan very well, and Alan is an exceptional talent, as is Danny Kaye. But that hold on that Sovereign Shield belt uh, by Spawn is so tight. He's not letting go. It doesn't matter if you put 5 in against him, he'd batter them. Sometimes with a chair, like Danny Kaye. But as Spawn says, who brought the chair into the match, Persona? Who brought the chair in?
Well, Danny Kaye brought the chair in. So,
Yeah,
unlike
you
Danny
reap what
Kaye,
you
when I bring
sow.
the chair, I actually use it. This
Yeah,
match will be something
Jam Dog.
special. Well,
Yeah, good to see you, Jam Dog.
one thing I will say on this match is I think, Alan does not deserve another shot. Sorry, he didn't get it done. He should move back in the queue. Taylor, what you should do maybe is, because you seem like you've got a bit of a brain cell, is get your little CV out, send it to the Imperial Wrestling Federation, get DJB fired, and you become the new general manager.
Well, that would
That
be
is what.
frightening.
So,
Oh,
speaking about
well,
this match, I'm going to try and be as unbiased as I can be so that the board doesn't sack the show off. Oh, we're back to big.
yeah.
So that the board doesn't sack the show off. I need to try and be unbiased. I need to be professional. You've got Spawn, the champion. He is the only remaining champion from the Grand Slam.
He is.
You've got Alan Shaw, who is struggling to get it over the line in the final third. Would you agree?
I'll put it this way: Alan has great resilience. He's got a gas tank on him, and his aerial attacks are absolutely deadly. Once he starts flying, people start falling down. He's like a bowling ball at Skittles. He'll knock them all down. And Alan, in that initial match with um, Johnny Thunder and Spawn, that kicked off IWF. And I think the glory from that, and Alan's had some impressive matches ever since. He might have come up short now and again, but there's one thing: he's got a heart. This lad, I would say, in all deference, yeah, he's in there, but he's in it to win it. My only worry is for Spawn, Danny Kaye or Alan Shaw could win this. They could either pin each other or submit each other, and Spawn has nothing to do with the decision and loses his title. Yeah.
Thank you. I like me too. I'm great. So it's the famous wrestling triple threat match. Saying is that the champion doesn't need to be pinned or submitted or lose the championship. I've been in that position myself when DJB tried to screw us by putting us in a triple threat match against an established tag team. But because I was an excellent champion, I came out still the champion. Will Spawn be able to do the same thing? He's not that experienced. He's been in this type of match before, but not as a champion. He was in there as the challenger, just like everybody else. So it's a lot of pressure going into it as the champion. You're constantly on high alert to what's going to be going on. You constantly want to be in and around the action. You can't really take time to go rest while the other two fight, because what if they get a sneaky roll up? And then you've got Danny Kaye, who I think has went a bit under the radar in this match because everyone's talking about Spawn and how he's so brutal and intense. And Alan Shaw's so flippy and he can jump really high and he's got all this heart and all this passion. But Danny Kaye is not really getting spoke about, which I think is a bit of a disservice to Danny Kaye, because he's a very crafty individual, and in these multi-man matches, a lot of the time the craftiest individual comes out on top.
This young lad Danny Kaye, he's only 18 years old, and I remember seeing him at Rain Arena last year, and that's when he got his new get-up and stuff like that. And now he's got that bit of an edge on him. He's got that little bit of, I wouldn't say anger, but not hostility even, but he's got a bit of grit. Beforehand, he wanted to please everyone. Now he gets his head down and gets the job done. and the three of them are all going to get their heads down and get the job done. Spawn's going to need eyes at the back of his head. All of them are going to need eyes at the back of the head because I know what's going to happen here. There could be an upset. It could be Danny Kay. It could be Alan Shaw or Spawn. Well, no DQ. It's a three-way as well. So
Yep,
there's a good chance, we might see an odd chair in here because old Spawn, he loves a chair shot, doesn't he? And I
but
know, I
some
know with a van, I do have an array of weapons and stuff in the van, which I'll just put under the ring, just if they need it, just if they need it.
so at this moment in time, at 17 minutes past 8, on the 9th of January, Colin, who do you think is going to win that match? Who is your
I
pick?
think Spawn will win. I think
You think
Spawn will
Spawn?
win. You know, I've always got to back at you with Spawn all the way. Alan, yeah, honourable mentions. Danny Kay, honourable mentions. It could go either way, but I think Spawn's just every match he's getting that experience, he's getting that in ring time, he's becoming a little bit more savvy, and I think he's becoming a lot more focused. Now I know he's quite driven, and I haven't really seen him go high on the submission holes lately, but it would be great to see him put both of these in a cross race and stuff like that.
No DQ, Summers Pandy. Well, it wouldn't be the first time you got involved in a match that you weren't supposed to be involved in now, is it, Dagon? Ah,
Well,
Colin, it's
yeah.
your lass. She says, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh dear me, that frightens the crap out of me. The dame around. I remember going to a Wrestling with Pride show, and I think it was their first one. I was sat nice and quiet at the end. We'd got all the ring done, and out comes the dame, and she lays the my lips on me,
Oh,
and tongues. She was trying tongues on me, you
too
know.
hard. Are
It,
you trying it back?
it, it well, it is the dame like. Um, the thing is, you cannot escape the clutches of the dame, and I know the dame is going up to Alba soon, and I just don't realise what they're going to expect. They won't be expecting the dame. Yeah, it's going to be a shock for Alba when the dame appears.
Any means necessary. Well, I've been there myself,
Well,
but if there's anything that would general manager, watch out because he'll start putting all the chips against you.
you
The
just
only way that he wants you to do it. So,
Just thinking, just thinking, Persona, just let me finish off at this little point. If old Dagon's gone so much Pandemus, so this could be like a 6-on-2 match. It could be the all the bloody Pandemus against
well,
Danny Kay and Alan Shaw. This is what it
you've
could
got
end up as.
Jimmy,
You
you've
know,
got
and you've got them blooming them druids. You've got Davy Dunderhead. You've got Dagon. You've got Lilith. How many distractions do you need?
let us fight. You've got no worry from myself, Alan. Dagon, you're sending very mixed signals here. I preferred when the dame commented and she was nice and upfront. She wants Colin's backside, but you, to speak of the devil, and just back. It's like Bloody Mary. Dagon, you're either going to interfere or you're not. Pick a lane, stay in it. Thanks. And
Whoever wins,
my pick
your
for this
pick.
match is Alan Shaw. Just because I believe if Alan Shaw doesn't finally get it done on the 17th, then he has to seriously question his ability as a professional wrestler. Because if you can't get it done in their big moments, time after time after time, then what are you doing in the ring? So I think for his own sanity and for his own confidence, he needs to win this match.
Yeah, yeah. Look, anything can happen. Anything can happen. But let's. Should we go on to the next match, Persona? And this is one, and then this should be interesting. Dagon against Marshall. Now, I know both of these gentlemen. I've known Dagon longer than Marshall, but I've seen Marshall in and around a number of companies in the north of England and around the country. Marshall, this lad has passion. This lad, this lad is as tough as old boots. I saw him recently at Sheffield. He plays a character there, and it was the rise two night week where there was light tubes and stuff like that. This guy can put up with pain. This guy, can run through brick walls. This lad, um, he's Dagon. I don't think he's expecting what Marshall Warner's going to bring him. Absolutely.
Well, Dagon thinks he's Billy Big Bollocks now, so see if he's got what it takes. I mean, he's in like his Batman era where he's got like the cowl and he's got like the smoke and the lights are off and Big Fat Davy's standing there making the room shake. And is it going to affect Marshall? Is he going to be bothered by all the smoke and mirrors and all the ooh, spooky? Is he going to be bothered by all that, or is he going to just give it a Dagon full throttle?
I think he will. I've seen him at Gauntlet near Selby. I've seen him at Firestar. This guy can get around. He's in his mid-20s, I think, but aerially, he's very strong, and also he is as strong as an ox. Jab Dog Dagon can handle anything. He's never met Marshall. Marshall is just he's got a stare on him as Marshall, and you remember like the Undertaker stare. You know, yes. He used to stare. Hold on, this is very much like Marshall. He'll look at you and think, "Are you really going to think about doing that?" And this guy, I'll just club Dagon. I think Dagon, well, as he's a good friend, I understand that, but do not underestimate Marshall. One thing you've not got to do, you're not getting any younger. Your body's getting a little more fractured and stuff like that. You just need that little extra bit of time off. Marshall, he's 10 years younger than you. This lad, he can go all night. Dagon needs to get this job done and quickly.
Well, one thing I will say is Marshall, obviously, the IWF audience may not know who he is making his debut. And it's if he can go out there on the 17th and if he can make his debut by beating Dagon, who was a fan favourite in every match that he's in, the audience think that he's going to win. But I want to just go back to the point that Jam Dog said, which was that Dagon can handle anything. But there it is. There is somebody on this show that Dagon's never beat in singles matches. And that's me. So Dagon can't handle anything. Marshall, if you want to know how to beat Dagon, give us a message. I'll let you know all my tips and tricks. I am the best in the world after all. I think you're discrediting Dagon quite a lot. Yeah, shut up, Alfie Jackson.
Alfie, we're talking facts here. We're talking facts here. Dagon has been injured, and I know he has a couple of ailments and stuff like that, and that's fair enough. A lot of wrestlers do hold back, and I know as a promoter, when you say to a wrestler, "You're okay, everything's fine," yeah, and then you see the match and 5 minutes in, the roll to the arm and limping a bit, and you just know afterwards to say, "You weren't fit for this, were you? You weren't ready for this," And if this is where the heart is greater than the head, and that's one thing about Dagon, he has a massive heart. Family is number one to him. Pandemus is his family, and he'll do anything for him. And as I say, he will go to hell and back for him. But this is Marshall, and people at IWF, if you have never seen this guy, you are going to get one hell of a shock what he's going to put Dagon through.
Well, it should be very interesting. Oh, never thought the Genius would lose trust in the Prince of the Underworld. Time to prove him wrong.
No.
Ooh,
I've never lost trust in look, Dagon. It's facts, that's all. Myself and Persona talking about it's facts. You're not getting younger. This is a young buck. This guy wants to come to IWF and kick your head in. And I know you'll do your
I
best
hope
and
he
stuff
does.
like that.
I really hope he
Uh,
does.
and if he does get beat, look, what we're thinking of, you know, what's Day could start thinking about, can he do it? Yeah, of course he can. But look, I feel, you know, I have heard, Dagon, oh, Marshall, yeah, uh, you know, very confident. And confidence is a good thing, but overconfidence, pride before a fall.
Well, obviously Marshall's debut, 17th of January. Let's see if he can get the job done. I personally hope he very much will, and I predict that Marshall Warner will walk out the victor. I'm about to prove your facts to be bored,
That's
bored,
yeah, yeah,
swearing, not allowed
yeah.
on this show, Sunshine. So,
Bullshine,
Batman,
bullshine. I think we
little
can get
Batman,
away with that.
I expect that you're going to receive a very angry email from the board in the next few minutes.
Yeah. Um, oh dear, hybrid start to toss out his toys out the pram here. Just rambling now, Colin. You've made your bet. Look, myself and Persona, the genius and the goat, we only talk facts. We do have
Correct.
opinions, but unfortunately, it may be a harsh opinion and not the opinion you want to hear. But we've got to give all opinions. And, you know, if it was myself and someone else, there might be a different skew on this. But no, you've got the genius and the goat tonight.
Correct.
And that's what we're doing. It's very simple. If you don't like it, there's two things you can do about it. And you know what those are? Nothing and like it.
Next match. Oh, another debut.
Yeah. Thunder Flash, Blaze of Glory. Now, if you don't know these two lads, the one on the left there, as you look at the screen, that's Fahrenheit. And the youngster on the right with curly hair, that's Mitch. These guys, I've seen them, I think last saw them at the Jubilee Club up in Walker. And I think they had a company versus company against Liam Slater's PPW from Sheffield. And Fahrenheit has got a massive following of fans. Mitch is absolutely this youngster is a natural, absolute natural. This lad, as I say, he's got heart, he's got strength, and you will enjoy these two together. Thunder Flash just got the belts. Well, this is your first defence, and this is going to be very tricky for Soda, don't you think?
Well, it's a strange one because they used to facing Thunder Flash. Obviously, got very familiar with wrestling the Detriment, who were very crafty, used all the tricks of the trade. But this one's just going to be two young guns who are looking to make a very big impression on the debut. And to make it even better, there's championships on the line. Winning a championship on your debut, that's something special. And if what you're saying is true about Blaze of Glory, I think Thunder Flash might be in for a very, very, very tricky first title defense. I have seen Blaze of Glory in the ring, and they definitely bring the heat. No pun intended. Well, if it was, that really wasn't funny. And they don't know when to quit. Well, that's another thing as well. I've trained with Blaze of Glory. They are such great talents. I heard Fahrenheit likes to check people's temperatures. I hope he checks yours, Diego.
Yeah.
So obviously, Blaze of Glory, very well known in the wrestling world, clearly, by the comments that we're getting. I actually wrestled Mitch once. I can't remember when. It was like his second ever match or something. I don't know. I can't really remember it. I think I won. But very talented young kid who is very well trained. You can tell that by the way that he does things. As you said, they're very popular. When you watch shows that they're on, they've got so many fans that have got the shirts on and all that kind of jazz. And I think Thunder Flash, the worst thing that can happen for Thunder Flash is on the first of our title defense, they walk out there and the audience want Blaze of Glory to win. I think that could be a thing that really shoots their momentum down. And if that happens, I think we could see some new Regal Duos champions.
It's possible. Even Brian, I know you're at work tonight, doing a great job as you do, but it's great for you to join us here as well. Blaze of Glory, yeah, these boys could upset the apple cart, as they say. I know Johnny Thunder and Johnny Flashback, basking in the glory of the new belts. But once you've got the belts, you've got to hang on to the belts. And the IWF and the board has found Blaze of Glory, and I think it's an absolute masterstroke. And it's not expecting. You can just imagine the detriment with a face like a slap backside that Fahrenheit and Mitch have got the next title opportunity, and they'll be sat there, bottom lip quivering a bit, won't they, Persona?
Why wasn't it us? Well, game's the game, lads. Who do you think is going to walk out the Regal Duos champions?
On experience, I've got to go with Thunderflash.
I also choose Thunderflash for similar reasons. I think the experience and the age really comes into a factor here. Definitely the experience of Johnny Thunder mixed in with the old wise brain of Johnny Flashback. Obviously, I've wrestled both Thunderflash. I've wrestled them both one-on-one. I wrestled them in a triple threat match. I won every match. But they are experienced wrestlers. They know what they're doing. They know how to prepare for a match. And I think they're going to go into this match a lot more excited than they are nervous. I'm going to say Blaze of Glory. I did not ask for your opinion, Jack. Got to be my boys. Alan. Guys. This is the genius and the goat. We speak our opinions. I never asked for yours. Jesus Christ. Anyway.
Look, I know Thunderflash gel very well. Mitch and Faraday haven't been together that long. And, I remember seeing these as it must be about 3 or 4 years ago they started tagging, didn't they?
Yes.
And, they've got some type of energy together. I know Mitch and Faraday are gonna have everyone off the seats and stuff like that. But look, even for Mitch and Faraday, this is the opportunity to get new faces seeing their product and seeing, how good and these two lads, I've seen them wrestle before, and these boys, they'll put up a good fight. They might even pull it off, but if they do, fantastic.
Persona Genius. How about after I'm finished with Marshall? I imprint the goat's face on my right boot. Seems to have a bit of an attitude towards me. I wouldn't do that because you'll cry that your white boots have gotten dirty. Shut up, Dagon. Also, Dagon, I've beat you about 6 times now. We don't need to keep doing this. I'm up here and you're down there on the level of Johnny Flashback with people I've beat over and over again who I just don't need to do it again. So stay in your lane, buddy.
I just know he's trying to wind you up to Soda, and I know me and you have these conversations in the past. You've got your level, and you stick to your level, and then you just let the cars go past.
Yep. Yeah. Also, Dagon, on the topic of you and me, you're very nasty towards me for some reason tonight. When, if I remember correctly, at 12 Days of War, the last show that we had on December, your daughter would have been spiked across the throat if it wasn't for me. So I protected your daughter better than our own dad could. So
you've got a point there, Persona.
Go look in the mirror, rethink some of your choices, and then come back to us when you've had a bit of a self-evaluation.
A thank you costs nothing, does it, Persona?
Exactly. Everybody put thank you, Persona, in the comments, and I want them all through up there. Producer man, whoever you are. I don't actually know who's behind the scenes of this, but I hope it's not DJB. Anyway, what is on our agenda?
Right, the next one, copiate and hybrid. Now, you know, I'm sure that Alfie Jackson will be not far away, shall we say. Courtney, well, I dread to think what he's coming out as this time. Last time he came out as Dagon, or was it Spawn? I think it was Dagon.
Spawn.
And
He came out with
he got a bit.
Spawn,
His
and
Spawn
he was
was
doing the
it?
wrong.
Uh, uh,
Yeah, and he was doing the wrong hand signs.
yeah, and he got a bit of Rory Shaw, didn't he? Rory Shaw certainly enjoyed that little match. It didn't take long, but I'll
No.
give Kobe his due. He got a shellacking, but he got up and he was resilient. But in this game, you need a little bit more than resilience. Technique and wrestling there, I think he's got a bit to go. But the lad's got a bit of art. He's a super fan. Well, super fans should probably sit and watch instead of get their heads kicked in. Would you not agree, Persona?
Yep, I think fans should stay fans. And DJB, please, what I've just said, put that on repeat. Really get it in your brain. Fans should stay fans, not become wrestlers or general managers. I think credit to Copy. He is just a fan who has been given this opportunity to be more than a fan. I don't agree with it, but it is what it is. I can't stop it. You can't stop it. Credit to him for getting in there with someone like Rory. Knew what he was getting into, but then we've got Hybrid, who, if we're going to talk about facts, then the fact is Hybrid is a former Regal Duos champion. And before we talk about the match, I've actually got a bone to pick with the Detriment, because they haven't been answering my calls and they haven't been answering me texts. And I personally thought that me and the Detriment were building up a positive working relationship, but it seems to be that they are now ignoring the GOAT, the best in the world. And the only reason I can think of that is because I didn't help them to keep their Regal Duos championships. Well, Detriment, I am very glad that you lost, because now I no longer need to associate with little leeches who are going to leech off the best in the world and try and get things they don't deserve. So you are both now at the bottom of the pecking order. Like, Hybrid's wrestling a fan. He's went from being a champion to wrestling a fan. Alfie Jackson's not on the show. I'm sure he'll come out of company in Hybrid and hold his pocket on the way out and all that jazz. But I hope didn't these guys put themselves on the line to try and stop Walker taking your championship off you? I didn't ask them to, but I appreciate it. We were there when you needed us every time. I didn't ask. Losers.
I think there's a bit of bitterness here, Persona, isn't there?
There's a bit. See, everyone's against the GOAT, and it's because told you months ago, Hybrid and Alfie, he would use you and toss you aside. It's like yours and Strange's relationship, where Strange was really buddy with you until he became Dagon, and now he doesn't care for you. No longer brevs, is. But the match itself, I think Hybrid will win because he's got that experience that Copy doesn't have. But one thing I will say about Copy is that one day, because this is professional wrestling and anything can happen in professional wrestling, I think Copy will eventually beat somebody in that ring. And when he does do that, it is going to be detrimental to that wrestler's career. So from here to the future, every wrestler that is wrestling Copy must be scared for their career in case they lose to this fan.
Absolutely. And, I could see this match not lasting long. Spear, lights out. Copy's looking at the ceiling, looking at the lights. But how long he stays in there? Look, I didn't think he'd last that long with Rory Short, to be honest. And Rory hit him with some big moves, some massive shots and stuff like that. Hey, good on the kid. Look, the only way you get experience is getting in the ring and get your ass kicked.
Persona is loyal to Persona, no one else. It's the best way to be, Alan Shaw. It's why I'm the best in the world, and you're not. We always made sure to be on hand when you had a match, and not once did you even bother to try and help us at all. My head's a little over the place, but I'll make quick work of this. Good luck, Copy. Welcome aboard. Going back to what Alfie Jackson said, if I can slap his comment back up there so I can educate this young fool. Not once did you even bother to try and help us. If I remember correctly, the Detriment were in a title match against Strange Street and, as you call them, Colin, the Goons.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly, did or did not my Goons come out and take Jakob backstage, which then made you win the match? And who ordered the Goons to do that? Me. So if it wasn't for me, you would have lost the Regal Jewels Championships about 3 months ago. So be grateful, say thank you, and move on.
Yeah, that's the second time we've said that tonight, isn't it? People should say thank you to you, Persona. I think we've got a bit of an interlude here. I think we've got a little break. You've got a bit of a surprise, haven't you?
Oh, we do. So the board have given me permission to announce tonight, and there it is there.
Yeah.
Imperial Wrestling Federation, I have been given the the permission to announce that at the King's Rebellion, 17th of January, we will be revealing the IWF Women's Championship. I have been told that we have the championship. It looks glorious. Obviously, the tournament for the championship begins in February, and then a champion will be crowned in March. We do not know who is revealing this championship. We will find out on the night, but it's a very exciting time to be a woman in the IWF.
You know, I wouldn't put it past Alfie Jackson to put a wig on.
Yes, that. To be fair, it's a division that he might actually. No, he won't succeed there.
No, he won't. You look at the people we've seen. We saw the Fiery Vixen, Summer Rain, and Sulfrina have a couple of great matches, and these two, I will no doubt think will be somewhere in this tournament. Lilith might think she's got a chance on this, possibly. She's coming in at the start of her career, and she hasn't got the experience, but what she's got, she's got cheek. She's got a lot of cheek as the girl. She's got a lot of lip on her, and and that's not a bad thing, but she might get that taste slapped out of her mouth, when she's in there. Like I've seen people like Maddie Morgan, Melissa Fierce, and there's a lot of other great women in the north and northeast. I go around with ring heights and see a lot of women in the ring. And if you want a champion, there are plenty of women around there who I would honour the point of having the IWF Women's Championship around their waist. And looking forward to see who the board decide is going to be in the tournament, and number two, who's going to win it. And good luck to them all. And I remember a little story with myself and Taylor, and they were talking about the women's belt, and there was Lilith in the ring and Sulfrina. And Taylor turns around to me and he says, "If there's a belt on the line, will these two still be best friends?" And we both looked at each other, went, "No." They'll be pulling each other's hair out and stuff like that. I can quite imagine. When you put a prize on the plinth, all of a sudden, friendships change.
Yep. We've seen it countless times in wrestling. When there's a championship involved, friendship goes out the window, and I respect it. We're not here to make friends. We are here to make money and win championships. If you are a woman
absolutely
that thinks you've got what it takes to be the IWF Women's Champion, put your name forward and get yourself involved. Anyway, next match.
Well, I think this is your match, Sunshine. Young Jakub versus Persona. Shall we say The Apprentice and the Trainer. Young Jakob. Um, I know this young lad uh, quite well. I know his family really well. Speak to his mother and father at training, and they're supporting this young lad. And I'll say one thing, Persona, in the last 6 months, from being a skinny lad, this lad's put a bit of beef on. He's put a bit of muscle on. He's becoming quite a strong young lad now, and he can still do all the flips and trips and flights and stuff like that. But you were doing this 10 years ago, weren't you? And
Correct.
I see him very similar at his age now, and when you were at his age, I think you two were very equivalent. But what you've got 10 years experience on you, and you'll give this lad a schooling. I'm absolutely certain.
Well, I've spoke about this match on the page, and I understand that the whole IWF fan base, wrestlers, everyone that's involved is pushing the narrative that Jakob's going to be the future of the IWF. The future is not now. We are in the present, and in the present, there it is there. And in the present, Persona is the best wrestler in the world, and that the IWF have. Um, Jakob, I've faced many like him. I have been like him myself, as you said. Very flippy, very lucha style of wrestling, very quick, very agile, but he's a one trick pony. And that trick might work really well against people that don't understand the trick. He's like a magician, where if you get a magician, he's going to do a card trick in front of people that don't know how to do card tricks, and you're amazed by it. But when you're doing it with somebody that's been doing it for 10 years and doing it better than you do it, it doesn't surprise us and it doesn't amaze us, because everything that Jakob can do, I can do 10 times better. And everything that Jakob can't do, I can do. So I am going to take Jakob to wrestling school on the 17th of January. I am going to kick him all over. I am going to punch him in the face. I am going to kick him in the head in front of all of his family, in front of the whole nation of Poland. And I am going to smile while I do it.
Now that doesn't surprise me. I know this young lad very well. I've got a lot of respect for what he's done this last couple of years, stuff like that. There's one thing for sure: this guy will be great soon. But as you say, not now. You're in front of him, and you are a mountain. You are the top of the mountain. You are the goat. You
Correct.
know, are you suggesting that young Jakob is just a sheep? I don't think he's a sheep. I think he's a young wolf, and he is a young wolf. He's eager. He wants to learn, and the only way to learn is by getting his backside handed to him, and it may be by you this time. But once you get in that ring, and you've got to cross a few losses in your life, but what it does, it gives you that experience. You saw how Persona did this, that, and the other. You have to think of a strategy, and it's the only way you learn. I'm sure when you were very young in your career and you got your backside handed to you, you learned from it, didn't you?
I did. I mean, I won my first like 8 matches that I was in. I was just that good. But like, you know, we don't have to talk about me all the time.
Well, it is the genius of the goat, and there's two people we're going to talk about. That's me and you as well, isn't it? Well, that's cool. That's good.
But
Look,
you will be taught a lesson. I can guarantee that.
do you think he'll last 10 minutes with you?
No,
Right, okay.
I don't think that
There's
he has the skill set. I think he's going to realize very quickly that I know what he's going to do before he can do it. He's going to be like a deer in headlights. He's then not going to know what to do. I'm then going to kick him in the face, and we'll call it a night.
Well, I wish the lad very good luck, but the only way, as they say, to be the man, you've got to beat the man. But you've not got to beat the man, you've got to beat the goat.
There
And
goes.
nobody beats the goat unless they, shall we say, stack the deck against him like DJB did with the Gauntlet and Walker. And in my opinion, should still be champion. Absolutely. Right. Are we going to the big prize now?
The
I don't
last
really like
match.
to talk about this when you're here. Current champion
Well,
Walker versus heavy artillery Rory Shaw, and Rory Shaw uh, put um, put young Courtney through a stinging match the last time. Walker scraped through with his win, but look, I can only see one winner in this persona. Can you?
um, yes,
And I think it's some Scottish heavy artillery.
I
These
agree.
two are big, strong, tall, beefy guys.
Big meat
It's not going to
Nick.
be pretty. This
Nope.
there's not going to be topes. There's not going to be springboard cutters and stuff like that. This is just going to be knock the crap out of each other. Conditioning wise, I would say Rory. Experience wise, I think very similar. Possibly a bit more heart with Walker, but Rory, this guy's conditioned. This guy in Scotland, he's mowing down opponents. You've
Yeah.
seen him at IWF, whoever you put him. It reminds me very much of a Ryback character. Feed me, and you feed it, and he spits them out, and he does. You know, Walker, I have a lot of respect for. I think you're a bit lucky getting the championship off yourself, but he's got it now. But you've got to keep it. Yeah,
So
dear God. He may be my old friend Walker. He was your breath, but now he's a friend. That's fine. That's cool. But the
change
heavy
when
artillery are coming.
Volga is just as big, just as strong, and he has the home field advantage. Rory is a powerhouse who is capable of dismantling anybody. This could go either way. Well, thank you, DGB, for that very useless and sitting on the fence opinion that we did not need. Um, I think this one. I think if Walker wins the match or loses the match, he's going to come out of this worse, in my opinion. I don't think he'll be the same when he comes out. We've seen the damage that Rory can do to anybody that he wrestles. I think, but what I will say is I do think that Rory in the IWF has been in the same boat that Walker has been in a lot of his career, where they go on these great runs and then they get to that final hurdle where they're going to win something big and then they stumble at the last hurdle. We've seen Rory do that. Sovereign Shield Championship match against Spawn, he didn't win. Number one contenders match against Johnny Thunder, he didn't win. The gauntlet match, he didn't win. So when it's these big moments, Rory doesn't come out on top. And could this be the night when that changes? One thing I will say about Walker, it is harder to retain the championship than it is to win it. It's very taxing.
He has championship's advantage, so you know he can get himself disqualified, counted out, and he still retains the belt. But let's look at some of the moves of Rory Shaw. He's got that snap suplex, and it doesn't matter how tall or short you are. When they say snap suplex, it's so fast, and when your back hits the bag, and that shoulder rib breaker. Love to see him pull that, and you know, Walker with his back and his knee. I think you assisted, didn't you, in injury?
I did. We've got a very injury-prone champion, and when you are champion, in my opinion, being the main champion of the promotion, it's the most taxing role you can be in. You're in the big matches, you're in the long matches. It takes its toll on your body. Do I think Walker is cut out to be the champion? No. In my opinion, he should never have beat me. He won the championship by beating a persona who had wrestled Thunder Flash, and I was gassed and I was very beat up. In the singles match that we had, which was my rematch, that he retained the championship. If I remember correctly, he had Thunder Flash come out to help him. He had Dagon come out. and then he had Spawn pile drive me headfirst onto a chair. And if we're
That
going to
didn't end
celebrate
well,
that
did it?
win, if we're going to celebrate that win, we can. But should you really be champion, Walker, or should it still be on the goat's shoulder? I'm not
Are you saying
butthurt.
it's
I'm not annoyed. It is what it is. You know just as well as me. One day I'll get that back. Didn't you bring the chair out to begin with, though, Persona? Yes, I did, but I would never drop somebody headfirst on a chair. That is very dangerous, and the fact that Spawn has not been punished for that
yeah?
is very.
And I think the actual I think Spawn was warned afterwards that if he ever does that again to anyone, there will be serious repercussions.
But it's funny because
Because
Spawn gets lots of warnings. I didn't get lots of warnings. I got consequences immediately. If I remember
you
correctly,
did,
Spawn hit Danny K with a chair, and Spawn got a
yeah,
warning. Dagon then helped Spawn retain his title, and they got a warning. Spawn
yeah.
then dropped me on my head on a chair and got a warning. I mean, if we're not seeing a pattern here, ladies and gentlemen, then I must be dumb.
Well, as Prince David says, I like this aggression of Spawn. Yeah, you could say aggression. Yeah, he is a young lad, just turned 18, uh, and he vents his anger, and just lately this last 3 or 4 months, he's just got a little bit more vicious. I think the lad is. We're
It's
if that
it's
he's
a
hungry
different side of
for it,
Spawn.
but look, it's talking about now, thinking about that tour of the islands that Rory showed us to finish people off. And if
Yes.
he scoops Walker up and he goes to the tour of the islands with Walker, you can stick a fork in Walker. He's not getting up from it, no matter how much help he's going to get. Um, will there be possible interference in this? I don't think from Rory's side, put it that way.
Um, to be fair, I don't think Walker wants to be the type of champion that needs assists to win. I think if he can't win by himself, then he doesn't want to win. Um, but only time will tell. And I just want to quickly go back to Spawn for a second because you spoke about the past 3 or 4 months how we've seen this different, vicious side of Spawn. And obviously, we've both known Spawn for a very long time.
Yeah,
Me personally, I've never seen this side of Spawn before. He's usually the type of person that is all about honor, respect, all that kind of stuff. Would never put a foot wrong. Was the goody goody two shoes of everywhere that he's been. But all of a sudden, we're getting this aggressiveness. We're getting this viciousness. He wants to use weapons, and he wants to. If we're being perfectly honest, it's very persona-like.
well,
And all and me, my only. It's not my worry because I personally don't care. But for people like Prince Dagon, who's heavily backing this new personality that Spawn's taken on, is we've seen what happens to members of the Pandemus family when they start getting a bit aggressive and they start getting a bit vicious, and then they start putting red face paint on the face, and then they start braying their own family, and then they start braying people's mothers, and then turn a bit evil. Could we potentially be seeing Spawn going down the route that the red-faced demon went down, and could we see Spawn become evil?
are we suggesting like father, like son? He's
That's
got
what
to
I'm
have
suggesting.
this.
All I'm suggesting is that nobody's keeping Spawn in check, and everybody's just letting him do all this with no consequences. And are we eventually going to see this all add up into everybody's worst nightmare?
There was times I could talk to you and Spawn especially, and we'd have a great conversation, and he'd listen and take advice and stuff like that. And now the conversations I have with the young, and you think he's focused on something else, and I think and I don't think he's being selfish or anything like that. I think it's just his way. He's just finding his path in life. And if his path is to become more aggressive, as you say, the only thing he cares about is belts. And then, in second league family.
Obviously, I could be wrong. To play devil's advocate, this new personality by Spawn could just be coming on from frustration from management. I feel that myself. Terrible general manager. I can't wait for him to get sacked. It could be because of the personal issues that have went on recently in the Lilac family, and that is obviously a very emotional time. So that could be reasoning for this behaviour. But all I'm saying is that IWF fans, wrestlers, everyone that likes Spawn for Spawn, do not come crying to me when the worst happens.
Yeah. When they let the genie out the bag, shall we say?
And a question for you, actually. If Spawn does go down that route, are you still all for Spawn?
Yeah, and also TJB, you're the general manager there, and you put that'll never happen persona. It's not up to you, TJB. It's up to the board. And if they think that you're not doing the job you're doing, they'll find someone else to do the job. And I could quite happily give them at least, well, there's two candidates sat here, isn't there? You could do it, I could do it. We could do it together.
I'd put my shirt back on, I'd put my tie back up. Let's get me tie. We'll do a quick. Yeah. Let's see if you like this. Imagine
what about that
place the IWF would be if General Manager Persona was in charge. First thing I'd do is sack Dagon because that guy stinks.
Yeah.
If the board wishes, I'll respect that if it ever happened. No, you wouldn't. You'd cry about it on Facebook.
I think he's bricking it. I think DJB's bricking it.
Oh, he's shaking. He doesn't want to lose the spotlight and the attention. He doesn't want to go back to being a cameraman. He's more than that now. Every week I put in a comment about DGB. The pile must be about this high by now.
Dave, can you put that last comment up from Prince Dagon?
There's a producer called Dave.
Dave. That's it. That's the tech guy, Dave. He's a good kid with a heart of gold and the future Prince of Bandimas. Yeah, he may be the future. Put it back up. I haven't finished with it yet. Put it back up. He's a good kid with a heart of gold. He hasn't got a heart of gold. He's got a lilac heart. And, that's what he's got. I wouldn't say he's got a heart of gold. This lad is focused. This lad is driven. This lad is aggressive. And that's fine. We've each got our different style in wrestling. And if this is the line he's going down, fine. He's doing it for himself and possibly for the Fatima's family. I'd be more worried, Dagon, if he gets out of control. And what you're going to do if he does.
What if the future prince doesn't want to be the future anymore? What if he wants to be the present?
And he wants to be the king.
What if he's tired of his old decrepit dad hogging his spotlight? Just putting it out there.
Only opinions. We're not trying to be salty. We're not trying to wind people up. We're just giving different thoughts. It's not me or Persona whose attitude has changed in this last 3 or 4 months, is it?
Yep.
I love watching sports matches. I think the lad's a great talent and stuff like that. We're still good friends and stuff like that. But there's a change.
Whoa, DJB, don't. Whoa, this is our show. We are speaking facts and we are speaking our opinions. If you do not like it, switch off. We are not stirring the pot. Yeah. We have simply said, me and Spawn are on the same wavelength. We will rule this empire together. Dagon, you tell me one empire throughout history that had 2 people ruling it that ended well. Yeah. You will not be able to tell me one.
We shall wait and see. I'm looking forward, IWF 7 at the King's Rebellion next Saturday at a new venue. And we've got to keep it. If you turn up at Cheers, You're going to miss it, sunshine. It's very simple. We're at Grindon, aren't we? We're at the, just let me get my paperwork out here. We're at the Grindon Broadway Social Club,
on
Sunday,
the street, man.
SR4 9RX.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is the first show of the year. Obviously, tickets are on sale. Contact the IWF Facebook page to reserve your seats because we have a feeling there will not be many left.
No.
Adults £10,
actually,
children £5.
You've actually seen the venue, Persona. Can you tell us, how big the venue is, what the roof like, and stuff like that? Is it high? Will Alan Shaw be flying high?
A very spacious room. The ceiling isn't too high, but I think it's higher than the Cheers bar, so we could see a bit more flippy. There's 2 bars if you want to get a bit leery. Plenty of space, and you don't want to miss it. I will say that.
No, get yourself there. Doors. What time we're kicking off at? 6 for @past again.
6 o'clock doors. 6:30 is when the show begins.
Yeah, it's just I don't see that on the sheets anyway.
Well,
but fair enough. It's usually 6 for 6:30. Look, this has been the Genius and the Goat. I've really enjoyed our little hour together. And some people might think we're poking sticks. We're not poking sticks. As Davy Dukes would say, we have opinions. And if you don't like our opinions, there's 2 things you can do about it. One, it'd be good if you did have your own opinion and not someone else's. We're quite individual in that fact, and that's why it is the Goat and the Genius tonight. You've been superb as usual, Persona.
Thank you very much.
I've really enjoyed this. We've had a party, haven't we? And,
great hour.
Are we up for a pint?
I wouldn't mind it, but thank you for tuning in to the greatest show that the IWF has ever produced. Hopefully the board do not hate the show and we don't get cancelled and I don't get fined for the 40th time. And hopefully we can do this again in the future because every other show sucks and we are the saving grace of the IWF. Thank you for watching. We will see you for the King's Rebellion, where you will see me kick a small Polish boy in the face. That's all from me.
And you know what that is, Persona?
Oh.
Genius.
Genius.
No retreat, no backing down. We wear the gold, we take the crown. Imperial, the empire reigns.